Hello everyone, this is Waning Moonlight, and today we are going to be beating Dark Souls 2 only using Mario Lives. Now, if you didn't see my Bloodborne video, how this works is we start with about 10 lives, and every time we beat a boss, we get 5 more, and every time we beat a mini-boss or kill an NPC, we get 3 more. I had a mini goal for this one. I wanted to see if I could reach the max cap of 99 lives, which that's typically where it stops in Mario. So I was like, let's see if I can get it. In the Bloodborne one, I think my highest count was in like 20. But Dark Souls 2 is a lot easier to make it through, so I'm pretty sure I can at least make it to that. Anyways, first off, my first goal was to get this armor set. For those who don't know, wearing it increases how many souls you get when you defeat an enemy and boss. Grab over here to grab an Estus shard and head towards the first boss of the run. This area, pretty easy to get to. And this whole run was pretty solid. Either way, it's the Dragon Rider. All you gotta do is just dodge roll at once. Easiest fight. And I head up here, and I killed it. I didn't get a recording, but I did kill that NPC that was over there. And now we're already heading towards what I couldn't tell if I should count for a little bit as a mini boss or as an actual boss. So this guy right here can be fought as an actual boss with a boss health bar if we waited. I wanted to fight him because you get this ring called the Ring of Blades, which increases how much damage you do with melee weapons. And as you can tell, obviously, I'm using it. But, I decided in the end to count it because you do actually get a boss soul from him. But the other ones, when you fight them, I'm going to count them as mini bosses because they don't drop the big soul. Anyways, I keep on going and head towards what most would probably consider the actual first boss of the run, the Last Giant. Now at this point, my weapon's already +3. And I got quite a few levels to my name. Plus, actually, I don't think I put the ring on for this fight. Maybe I did. But either way, the damage output is pretty good. He can't really do anything to me. That's another boss down. Now at this point, we're around 30-ish souls, which is pretty good. But run's not over yet, but I'm going to do a lot of running around in general here. I kind of have this route to get an early +6 weapon, which is why I'm trying to save all these souls here. And all I got to make sure I do is make it to the Lost Bastille. Which, to get there, just gotta run up here. And that area we just ran by would have been where that Silver Knight's boss arena would have been. Anyways, just one cutscene and a loading screen later. Well, 2 cutscenes, but we've arrived at the Lost Bastille. Now, I did die twice, sadly. Trying to get there, I just kept pulling off ledges, but I got my weapon to +6 and made my way to the next boss. This one is one boss I've always actually struggled with. I do not know why. Just horrible at dodging her. I grabbed a few rings here. Ring of the Silver Serpent ring, so I get more souls. The fire, I think it's called like the Old Sun ring that explodes when I take a lot of hits. And the Chloranthy ring, which recovers my stamina. Either way, this boss was more of the same. Dodge a few tail swings and then just knock them down. Then we make our way to the Prowling Mangus, which is basically just a bunch of enemies in one room. Not at all difficult. That guy right here would be an issue, but just see how badly he gets melted. So now we're making my way. I died once in the gutter, but make to the next big boss of the run, the Rotten. He's one of the one out of the 4 main Lord Souls of the game, and most people know him solely because he's just the easiest one to take down. He has a very simple moveset and is extraordinarily slow. Now ignore what just happened there, but either way, the fight doesn't last too long. Having a +6 weapon at this point is pretty good in general. But either way, we take him down and keep going. Now, Dark Souls 2 has a mechanic that, if you're unfamiliar with, may be a little confusing. But you can do this thing called Burn a Bonfire aesthetic, and it'll basically put that area into a New Game Plus cycle, which means we can fight the Rotten again. If you're wondering why I would fight the same boss twice, well, there's method to my madness. We take him down and keep going. We died to him for a 3rd time because we fought him again. So I died to him twice, but eventually almost die, but I do get him. So that's 3 times he's been killed. Now, sadly, I don't fight him a 4th time, but I do keep going. Now, this is returning to the Lost Bastille. At this point, I fought some guys on New Game Plus too. So as you can see, might be a little over leveled for this section. And that's the fastest I've ever seen a Rune Sentinel get killed. But we defeat them, and we keep going. Now, originally I went into that area to pick up another bonfire aesthetic, but before I burned it, I also just wanted to fight the Duke's Dear Freya. Mostly just because I'm like, my sword's actually, or my Morning Star's doing so much damage. I wonder how I'll do against them. And I mean, it worked pretty good. We embrace the Great Soul and keep moving. Now, as we keep walking, we gotta fight this guy who's wearing the exact same armor as me. Kind of rude, steal my thunder like that. And we go back and fight the Rotten for the 4th time, and I did sadly die 3 times to him. But we keep going, and basically the reason why I fought him 4 times is there's this door that you need 1,000,000 souls to open to have collected it. And the Rotten, if you fight him 4 times, you get just enough to do that. And so I opened the door, grabbed my favorite armor set of the game, and went ahead to the next boss. Now this is where the great damage I was doing is going to scale down just a tiny bit. Just because this is more on level for where I should be. And now I know you can see I'm basically chunking these guys, but they're not meant to be difficult. Like, I mean, that's like 5 shots on that one. But we move on, and now we're heading towards the Looking Glass Knight. I was a little worried for this man. He kind of has a little bit of a wonky hitbox sometimes, and his shield will bounce off any weapon attack that hits it. So if I hit it, it basically just nullifies anything I just tried to do. So, circle around him to his right, trying to get him off guard. But then eventually I'm just doing so much damage, I just wanted to let him summon. Just to have, because I was curious, if I killed him and his friend he summoned was out, would it die too? And it does. But now we're into the Shrine of Amana. And many of you know this area, if you've played the game, as being notoriously difficult. So that's why I decided to just include the footage of it. I died once getting through it, actually. I'm very surprised. But, hey, you know, I'll take it. Especially I had a few close calls. I'm just awful at dodging those things, so I decided to kind of power heal through them. But either way, There's not much to say for this area. I mean, there's a lot of magic spellcasters, and then there's some. You'll see them in a little bit, but there's some melee Drake Knights, I believe is what they're called. But I kind of have a little bit of a strategy for the new game plus cycles, you know, because it's much harder to get through. So on just a regular cycle, though, I just like to kill everything and go forward, because I know they'll just follow me if I don't. We make it into, I kind of call this about the halfway point for the difficulty, because this is technically the last little area, but there are so many enemies here, you can easily get overwhelmed by it. Now that guy's fine, but there's about like 5 or 6 enemies right over there. Typically I would grab out a bow, but I do not have the dexterity for it. If I had thought about that, I would have planned ahead, but I did not, so I had to think of what to do. I was going to see if I had any bright bugs, which would increase my defense, but I did not. So, stamina recovery it is. What I do is I try and lead them back a little bit, just because I feel like it kind of gives me more time to plan on where to dodge, where to run around. And I'm trying to just get the attention. Those melee knights wasn't really working, which actually I'm glad, because then they would have just jumped me, but they do it anyways. Now at this point I had a mini freak out, because I did not want to die and lose all the time I spent running through here. Now turning my backs to them was not my best plan, but this is why I ran, because in this spot here they cannot get me. But I thought I was so done. I thought I was so dead when I fell down. I honestly still can't believe, even watching it back, that I lived that. But either way, I take him down and make it to the boss of the area, the Demon of Song. It's just a frog. You hit its face, dodge its attacks, because they are quite devastating if you get hit, as you can kind of see. But with my weapon still, I think at this point it's +7, so it's not the strongest at this moment. But strong or not, it's enough to take him down pretty easily, and for another first try. So after that, we head to my personal favorite boss of the game, the Royal Aegis Velstadt. Now, damage-wise, I mean, about 290 to 300 damage a hit. That's pretty good. But sadly, Velstadt does have a second phase, which will mitigate how much damage he takes, cutting it in about a half-ish. I've never really done the math, but it's not exactly half. But either way, I mean, I know his moveset pretty well, so I can easily just dodge it. I know my opportunities for attacks. And it takes a little bit longer than the first phase, and definitely quite a few more hits. But I do take him down. And I think I got a poise break, I'm not really sure. It looked like he stumbled. But I run over, grab the King's Ring, and get out of there. Now, this is typically where I like to fight Throne Watcher and Defender. For those who don't know, people typically will do a final boss gauntlet. They fight these guys, then the Chandra, and then if they did the side stuff, they can fight Aldia, the secret final boss. Now, I typically struggle with these people, so I do not want to fight them, then go to Nashandra. I like to fight them early. But, so that's why I actually went and I got my weapon upgraded. And I had to take a moment and think, should I do it later? Should I do it now? But I decided, let's just go in, get it done with. And I was expecting to see some pretty minimal damage, but that's pretty good. Now that was for the, then I thought like, well, that was for the fast one, the small one, maybe it's not too good. But then I saw to him, it also did some pretty good damage. And they didn't do much to me at all. So I thought actually, this might be it. This may not be too difficult. I know their movesets pretty well. I know when to dodge in, when to dodge out. So I knocked that guy down and run in, and then I did the foolish move. I thought I could trade with them and win. But you know, that's just one loss. So I decided to use a bright bug and go in again. This, as I mentioned earlier, will increase my damage and my defense. And you know, just having that up is always pretty good. Pretty helpful for someone who's not having any upgraded armor. So I kind of circle, dodge around a little bit. You know, something I did not do my first time around. But I get some good swings in. And, I mean, not much, same thing to say. Just dodge in, dodge out. And I do like their weapons. I like how they have like different colored lightnings for both of them. Like a whitish lightning and then the yellow lightning. I believe for the Dark Souls series, that's the only time we see like that white lightning. And I think that's kind of cool. But now we go ahead and for a little health upgrade, I am up to 85 lives. And I make my way to the next boss, and I really thought I would have been killed there. I actually thought I would have been hit there. But we take him down, and we head into this memory here. I forgot to get footage of it, but there was this mini boss of this Dragon Knight. I killed him, so got those souls. And I am quite close to the goal of the maximum lives. As long as I just do not die. And for those who don't know, this boss is not difficult. It's the last giant, but with more HP and a sword. So he's not difficult. And as the run comes to an end, I want to thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you did enjoy it. This whole run idea, it seems quite simple. But you know, it's still kind of fun to try. It gives you a sense of, it adds some tension to it, knowing that you could only try a boss so many times. Maybe in the future, I won't have this as my main run, but something like tacked on to another run. Like, can I beat Dark Souls 2 using this weapon with limited lives? But just for testing, seeing how it goes at base, it's really fun, and I do recommend trying it. But anyways, here we go with the final boss. For, once again, those who don't know, if you fight her on her own, she does have a special cutscene. And now one thing I did find was weird is typically she spawns 4 curse orbs, but she only spawned 3. Don't know why that was. Out of the quite a few times I've played the game, I've never seen her do any less. But either way, I mean, for a final boss, she's easy. Ignore the fact that I got hit like 5-7 times by her, and finish with a jump attack. And I reached the goal of 99 lives. Yeah, that's it for today's video. See you all in the next one.
You who link the fire. You who bear the curse. Once the fire is linked, souls will flourish anew, and all of this will play out again. It is your choice to embrace or renounce this. Great Sovereign, take your throne. What lies ahead, only you can see.